saying terrible things is bad. So if you said something terrible, then that's something you should confront in some way, shape, or form. I don't think that's cancel culture. That's you saying something terrible if that's what you've done.
You know what today is?
Tuesday.
This is my cat's birthday today.
I don't see a cat in here. I'm sorry.
Saying terrible things is bad. So if you said something terrible, then that's something you should confront.
Oh, Seth Rogan. Man alive. I mean, you never really were great, but the fall from grace for you has been spectacular to watch. I understand accepting, who you are and going with it. You're the weed bro guy, and that's cool. You've made a lot of money doing that. I understand embracing that too. I would happily trade bank accounts with you, but I would not trade my spine or morals because, like the typical elite these days, you're happy to pull the ladder up behind you after reaching your levels of success. Now, admonishing and siding with insane leftists who are pro-cancel culture just to get a crumb of free press to sell a book you wrote that nobody wants. I literally can't think of any other reason why a comedian who willfully enabled the behavior of Mr. James Franco for more than a decade is maybe suddenly trying to make up for that. I mean, I don't want to be a conspiracy theorist there, Joe Rogan. I wouldn't want you to go on an unhinged Twitter rant about my video, and I certainly don't want you to DM me and ask me about my race like you did to Count Dankula for merely joking on you. But here's this is what you wanted, right, Seth? You wanted Jezebel to write an article congratulating you for being pro-cancel culture. This is who you sided with. Dude, weed bro. This is who you sided with. Congratulations to Seth Rogan, the first white male comedian to admit some of his past jokes aged terribly. Or, in other words, Seth Rogan says comedians shouldn't blame cancel culture for jokes that age terribly. Or Seth Rogan tells comedians to quit whining about cancel culture. This dude is one of the slimiest slime balls around. I don't know why anyone listens to him other than to mock him. So let's get into the story. Seth Rogan is going after other comedians for whining about cancel culture rather than owning up to their horrific and terrible jokes. Isn't that funny? The word at the end of that sentence is joke. It's a joke. You may not think it's funny. You may not like it, but it's a joke. And intent matters, Seth Rogan. The Superbad star, think about that. That's what they're saying. What year did that movie even come out in? Let's see. That's what they know you by. Let's see. What was that, 25 years ago? 2007. Okay, so 15 years ago, roughly. So congratulations. You're well known for a movie you made 15 years ago. Told Good Morning Britain that Tuesday that some off-color jokes in his movies have not aged well, while insisting that he never made a joke that was outwardly horrific in some way. And if you have, I would question why you did that. Yes, moral authority, Seth Rogan. By the way, smash the like button if you think Seth Rogan is a moron and shouldn't be ignored and mocked. Seth, you aren't the arbiter of comedy. You've never been funny. You played your part 20 years ago as a dude bro, and that's cool. And you parlayed that into a lot of money, but maybe just be happy with that and don't come out now and expect us to view you as some sort of intellectual. And by the way, if you're new to the channel, make sure that you click that red subscribe button down below. I won't DM you and ask you about your religion and your ethnicities like Seth Rogan will if you make fun of him. Now, and if you have a question why you did that, saying terrible things is bad. Wow! Blaze it and praise it, Seth. Saying bad things are bad? Oh, what? God, this guy. If you've said something terrible, that's something you should confront in some way, shape, or form. Wow, thanks, Seth. I don't think that's cancel culture. Oh, God, please say accountability culture. That's you saying something terrible, he insisted. To me, when I see comedians complaining about this kind of thing, I don't understand what they're complaining about. That's because you're not a comedian, bro. You're not funny. Anything you've ever done was situational and could have been played by literally any other pudgy 5 o'clock shadow having person with a funny laugh. Dude, weed, bro, am I right? Pathetic. Getting criticism is one of those things that goes along with being an artist. Sorry, I know I've seen your pottery. You're a great artist. And if you don't like that, then don't be a comedian anymore. That's right. That's the solution. If you don't like how a small but vocal minority of pathetic pearl-clutching weirdos are getting the vapors over a joke you made or a joke you made 15 years ago, then you should just quit comedy. Times are changing. The 39-year-old filmmaker said he was more than happy to accept criticism of jokes in his own movies. That's because you already cashed out, bro. This is the least brave position to have. You know what, Seth? Give the money back then. Donate all the money from your offensive joke-making films to some grift corporation like the ADL, which polices speech in this country under the guise of goodness. All right? Let's give more money to corporations that think the okay hand symbol is a symbol for white supremacy. Give all of your money to them, Seth. Show me you care, okay? I was never a comedian, clearly. I don't think that jokes made that were truly designed to target groups that were subjected in some way, he told the UK breakfast show. We've done that without realizing it. Definitely. Those things are in our movies, and they're out there. And I'm more than happy to say they haven't aged well. But I think that's the nature of comedy. Jokes are not things that necessarily are built to last. Well, I mean, maybe I'd agree with that part. I suppose comedic style is, though. I mean, being a forgettable comedian or comedy actor, unironically saying about how you're not built to last is probably pretty telling. Rogan did not name any fellow comedians, but there's been a recent rise in complaints about cancel culture. Last week, Chris Rock blamed cancel culture for making safe and unfunny entertainment. Well, he's right. He's absolutely right, insisting it was disrespecting audiences who wield the ultimate cancel of not laughing at a comedian's jokes. I mean, yeah, congratulations. You got a positive write-up in feminist far leftist website Jezebel. I mean, is that really what you wanted? These are the same website. The idea that Seth Rogan says comedians shouldn't complain about cancel culture. Just accept it. Just accept some Zoomers who don't understand context or don't want to understand context demanding you be canceled. That's what Seth Rogan wants you to do. Just bend the knee and make sure that nobody's ever offended by anything you've ever done. The idea that this guy has the stones to call out actual comedians is almost respectable because he is so hilariously unfunny in his own right. The idea that this dude actually has any idea what comedy is and thinks he's in a position to police it or hold a moral high ground over actual comedians is pathetic. I'm just so sick of these weaselly pull the ladder up behind me people that have made all of their money and are now just irrelevant shills, corporate drones beating the drum for whatever Democratic Party line gets the most retweets. I mean, we're about to enter June, which is a gold mine for outing these lazy slacktivists like Seth Rogan. We're going to have a whole month of these idiots talking about how they deeply care about something just to sell their book or sell their cereal or sell tickets to their concert or whatever garbage that they want to do. I mean, look, Seth, I know your movie career is over and you're into, I don't know what it is that you want to do now, but this ain't it, my friend. You aren't respected for this. Go back to sparring with Ted Cruz. Apparently, this is a guy that you're not in a position to police comedy in any way, shape, or form. And by the way, cancel culture is absolutely, undeniably ruining comedy. It's making comedians safe, which makes their product homogenous. It makes their product boring and indistinguishable from another one. I mean, 15 years ago, I could name a dozen stand-up comedians. In 2021, I don't know, name 5. Name 5 popular stand-up comedians. You just can't, because stand-up comedy is dead. I mean, Dave Chappelle is one of the few dudes still out there doing his bits and his sets relatively free of pulling punches and making no apologies. But okay, that's one. And this is also a guy that had like a mental breakdown and had to, flee the country for however long. So, I mean, Dave just might be a wild card. I mean, he respects the craft of comedy. He respects the greats. And he respects that comedy isn't always about getting laughs. That's the problem with modern day quote unquote comedy TM. Guys like, late night show hosts like Colbert and Kimmel. These guys aren't funny. They don't play for laughs or entertainment. They play for applause. They want their crowds to agree with something they're saying. They don't want to entertain. They don't want to make people think. They don't want to make people uncomfortable. They just want to say boring party lines like, "Orange man bad, am I right?" Sorry, Seth. You're dead wrong on this one. Go back to your pottery. Hope you enjoyed this video. We'll talk to you again real soon.